it's a little difficult to hear. But the next step, because they need to keep building up the fear of these UAPs, the next step is really for the UAPs to start shooting down our commercial airliners and our military jets from the skies. And that, I believe, is going to be happening very, very soon.
All right, we're fixing to see this video.
Welcome to Redacted Conversations. I'm Clayton Morris. On this show, we invite journalists and thought leaders and whistleblowers and interesting people who have interesting stories to tell. And our guest today is John DeSouza. John DeSouza is a retired FBI special agent who served 25 years on counterterrorism, paranormal cases. He had a top secret security clearance during his FBI career. In fact, DeSouza literally collected the real-life X-Files that were used in the show, The X-Files. And I want to welcome John in. John, I became aware of you because I think about a year ago, you said publicly on an interview that I caught that, hey, the government is going to use some sort of a UFO invasion, a fake UFO invasion story. And you laid it out specifically. And then wouldn't you know, a few weeks ago, we have Chinese balloons and UFO invasion. And I remembered that interview. We featured it on the show, and my audience was like, holy smokes, he got it right. So, John, that's how I first learned about you. So I said, I want to have John on the show. I want to hear about his FBI career. I want to hear about these X-Files. I want to hear about your writing. I want to hear about how prescient you were with all of these, this awareness about what the deep state is doing, the cabal and all of that. So, John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Clayton. It is great to be here with you on Redacted Conversations, Redacted News. You guys are fantastic, and I am so happy to be here. This is a great privilege for me. And yes, all that you were saying is correct. For 25 years. That was, over 25 years. And I was the agent that had several of their stories way back in 1993. There were several of my stories were taken by a show that was going on the air at that time for about a year. It was called The X-Files, and it was using several of my cases, and the FBI actually called the creator of that show while I was there, our bosses at the FBI, and told him, where did you get those stories from? Because they were classified. They were not only classified, they were buttoned up, what we call buttoned up, having everybody sign additional non-disclosures and things like that. And so the creator, Chris Carter, he tells this story today. He had to answer. He was told by the FBI that his show was going to be shut down, and he had to tell them where they got his show, because they were obviously accusing me at the time of giving this information to Chris Carter. That was not the case, and he expressed to them that that was not the case as well, and he actually got the stories from several retired FBI agents that actually were working with me and went to Hollywood to be consultants. And they got my, what we call the OTB book, the off the books notes that I have of cases that that were not really put into FBI files for various reasons. Many of us have those books, and they're very interesting, and they're very good. And other than that, though, I also worked all the big counterterrorism cases as well. That was kind of like my major, while paranormal was kind of my minor at that point. And so that's where I come from. That's what I have done, and I have a lot of things that I share with people these days in my books and in my presentations and everything else that I do around the world.
Continue to make billions of dollars and using Space Force as the next way to do that and all of this. So am I wrong about that, or could you elaborate on that? And how did you know that this was going to be the case, that they were going to use this story to scare people?
The way that I knew was through my investigations. that have been painstaking over the years, and also my information that I get from the intelligence community. In the intelligence community, which is the people who have worked with and been around the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, all this, and also the intelligence agencies of other nations, of the other English-speaking nations, which includes many countries, because we also count India, Israel in that as well, and many others. Um, and so we have a way of sharing information to each other, which is through something called raw data and rumor, so that we are not violating any secrecy, we're not violating any top secret sort of prohibitions. So we're able to talk to each other about rumors, about things that may possibly be true. And the thing is, today, when you're in an atmosphere of complete and total deception, like we are today, then rumors become possibly life-saving, potentially life-saving at this point.
Right.
And that's where we are. That's where we are today again, so that we are actually able to latch on to important rumors. We had a bunch of
UAP
these
phenomena.
sort of silver-colored, and what they are is they're top secret drones. They're drones that possibly use anti-gravity technology from possibly Roswell. That was technology transferred from Roswell. And so we have all of these UAPs. And in 2004, we had a final giant experiment off the coast of California in the Pacific Ocean, where we had the no less a military force than the U.S. Nimitz carrier group, battle carrier group, that was off the coast of California and created a safe space for this final experimentation that went on. That's my description of what happened. In the New York Times and in all media around the world, it was described as, well, the Nimitz carrier group just suddenly happened upon these UFOs, and they kind of use softer language to describe UFOs, but they say, oh, this group of UFOs were buzzing around and they were at incredible speeds, and here's the pilots' conversations that they had at the time to tell us about this. It's incredible, it's amazing, and then we had that was the launching of the UAP phenomena across this country.
So it starts there, right? When the New York Times breaks that story, right? And everything. Oh my God, now we can talk about this, right?